All right, so week 14, all right? Jets, Texans. Before I get into that, there was some news today. And this is news I was waiting to hear like last night when I filmed the Falcon post-game video. So if you saw that video, you saw that I was talking about, where I thought this team was going to go this week with the quarterback situation. I had a feeling they were going to go back to Zach, and that was the news today. They are starting Zach again for the Texan game. Now, in my mind, there's a lot of thought process to this, and I wasn't aware of this last night when I was saying that stuff in the Falcon post-game video. I came to learn it today before I actually found out that he was starting. And that was, apparently there was some, I don't know, there was some like leak or whatever, where there was like, I don't know if it was a rumor or some shit, If you read up on it a little bit, Aaron Rodgers was saying how the organization, and that's a whole nother story. Like, what is this? Is Aaron Rodgers running the fucking organization at this point? Like, what the fuck's going on with that guy? But anyway, he was, I saw an article where, like, he was scolding the Jets for leaking out, inside, talk that shouldn't be, leaked out, basically. And they need to get to the bottom of, whatever. Like I said, that's a whole nother fucking topic. But anyway, what I read was apparently what did leak out, right, was that Zach didn't want to play anymore, okay, because he was afraid of injury. Now, again, I don't know how much, relevance or how much, fact is involved with this, okay? Or it was a perception that he was afraid of injury. Now, here's my thoughts on this, okay? And I'm actually gonna be in Zach's corner a little bit here, all right? If you're Zach Wilson, right? If you're Zach Wilson, do you even want to start for this team anymore? You know what I'm saying? Now, forget the injury thing and forget all of that. Like I said, I don't even know how true that shit is, but that shit aside, okay? Do you even want to start for this team anymore? Do you even want to play for this team anymore? All right? If I was Zach Wilson, the answer to that would be no. Because, at some point, I think you have to have some, like, self-respect and some fucking dignity. All right? At this point, to me, this team has embarrassed this fucking guy. All right? By pulling him several times, benching him. I mean, how many fucking times are you going to do that to this guy to where this guy is going to be like, well, fuck you, trade me. So, to me, that's a relevant factor here, all right? Now, do I want him on the team anymore? I really don't. I think he's got to go to a fresh place. I think the Jets need a fresh start at quarterback. They got to draft a quarterback, all right? So, I think he's starting, honestly, because they don't have any other fucking option. I mean, what are their options at quarterback? Now, that brings me into what I've been saying for the past several videos, okay? This team needs to lose out, all right? That's why I don't like the decision to start this guy, because he actually does give them the best chance to win. And who knows? Maybe now he's pissed off and he now really wants to fucking prove something. And maybe he just unleashes now, lets go, and plays great and starts winning games. I don't know. All I know is if that happens, you could kiss their draft position goodbye, all right? Because they really need to lose out to get a good pick, to get possibly another promising, prospect at quarterback. Because in my opinion, if they just win one more game, they're going to go from, right now I think they're at the 6th pick. They just win one more game, that could put them out of the top 10. So, and that's a whole nother thing. And I mentioned this in the Falcon video. I am going to put out like a small little draft video. So look for that soon. Just to start, a little draft talk. I think it's time for some draft talk. Just a little something to, get the whole draft thing going, because that's where we're at now in the season, if you ask me. So there's a lot to this, in my opinion. Is it good? Is it bad? Where's this guy really at in his head? Where's the organization at with this guy? And like I said, man, if you're Zach Wilson, I don't know. I haven't. Let me just take a look at something, all right? Because it is like breaking news today. Let me just see what's on the news front, I should say, with all of this. All right, so listen, there's a lot of shit, but it all seems to be saying the same thing. That there was maybe some rumors that he was reluctant to play. And then you read and it says, well, he came into the office and said he wants the ball. So who knows? Who knows what's going on with this? All I know is, like I said, this, to me, okay, it's just crazy. It's a fucking circus. Like I said, would you even want to start at this point after the way he's been treated? Let's be fair here. He's been kicked to the curb a few times by this fucking organization. So, maybe now, like I said, maybe he goes out. This is good. So, in my opinion now, this is going to be a very interesting game to watch, okay? Because let's now see if, this kid fucking really shows you what he's made of. This is it. In my opinion, this is it. If there's a game where, he is going to come out and prove something, this is the game, okay? That's it after this. And I just heard or read something where I think he was named the starter for the rest of the season, I think. So, listen, I don't give a shit about the rest of the season. This game coming up against the Texans, this is the game. This, to me, if you're going to prove something, this is the game that you prove it in. That's it. I don't even know if I want him to prove anything at this fucking point. If he wins, like I said, and he starts winning, and it fucks the whole draft up. And are you keeping him on the fucking team at this point? Like I said, it's a clusterfuck at this point. So, listen, if he wins out and looks phenomenal, then all right. Then, listen, there's promise and there's hope with the fucking kid. Do you really think that's going to happen? Like I said, who knows? Maybe, shit happens in crazy ways in this fucking life, man. So, maybe he needed to get kicked to the curb again. And if you ask me, the last time he was benched, this latest time, to me, it's like embarrassing at this point. So, I even said it. They should have just got rid of him just for his own sake and his own head and for the organization. So he's not a distraction at this point. And so, I don't know, man. We'll see. All right? So, bottom line, Zach is back again as the starter, and it's against the Texans, who are pretty fucking hot right now. Stroud is, in my opinion, he's already locked up for Offensive Rookie of the Year, but you're playing the Jets defense, so I think the Jets defense can hold Stroud. So again, it's really, what is Zach going to do in this game? Is he gonna break out and, score 4 fucking touchdowns and finally win a fucking game the way he should win a game? So, all right. We'll see what happens. So, like I said, that's the interesting aspect of this week going into this Texans game. Now, Texans, I already mentioned Stroud, okay? It'll be interesting to see Stroud. And you know what? And I said this in another video at some point. You get somebody like Stroud, right? He's a rookie. He comes in. He's not on a good team. Listen, when you get drafted number 2, he's another number 2 pick, all right? You're not going to a good team when you're getting drafted that fucking high, all right? But he came in to a pretty fucking down Texans team, okay? And look at what he has done to that organization. Look at what he's done to the team, okay? So, all right, Zach's been in the league now for 3 fucking years, all right? And he has done nothing compared to what Stroud has done this year. So that's why I'm saying maybe he doesn't have it. But listen, I will give him one more benefit of the doubt here, all right? And we'll see what happens against the Texans, all right? I don't know what else to say, man. I mean, look, I am a Jet fan, so we'll see what happens. I want to just look at one more thing here quick. I just wanted to check something quick, but listen, it's like I'm saying. I'm a Jet fan, all right? It does make this week very interesting. And look, after last week, I mean, I had hit a point where just take a look at the thumbnails for the Falcon fucking everything. The pregame, the postgame. I didn't give a shit. Let me just say that. I didn't give a shit about that fucking game because at this point, it was like, all right, I just want them to lose the game, all right? Because to me, that's where this team is at now, all right? I'm thinking good draft pick and, got to draft a quarterback, all right? Now, this is a little wrench that got thrown into that machine right there that I'm talking about, all right? About losing out and all that shit. So, I don't know, man. To me, okay, the only way at this point, like I said, this is the game. If this fucking guy is going to resurrect his career and stay on the Jets, and that is like almost unfathomable to me, all right, at this point. But if he is going to do something like that, this is the game he has to do it in, all right? If he comes out and has another fucking bad game, then that's it, man. I mean, like, what the fuck else? Listen, the Texans are playing inspired football, but they still are the fucking Texans who picked number 2 this year, all right? So, and Stroud doesn't play defense, so let's see what he fucking does against the Texans. And like I'm saying, this is the game, all right? If he fucking bombs this game, then I don't, what are you going to do if let's just say he has a bad game this week against the Texans. Like, what do you do at that point? Like, do you fucking bench him again? I mean, it's almost like they got to just let him play for the rest of the season now. I mean, that's how fucked up this situation is. I mean, I'm at a fucking loss for words with it at this point. I really don't, like I said, at least this week will be interesting, and that's where I was going before with all of this, all right? At least it gives you something to, like, be interested in watching this week. Let's see how he does after all of this fucking shit. Let's see how he does now against the Texans. And then it just goes from there, man. I mean, like I said, in my mind, he was a done deal. He still might be a done deal for this franchise. Unless, like I said, man, let's just say he fucking wins out. What are they, 4? There's 5 games left, right? So if he wins out, that's 9 wins. I mean, now I know it's total delusional thinking right now, but I'm just saying, that would make them what, 9-8, right? So that's possible playoff scenario. But do you really think that's going to happen? I mean, I'd be shocked. All right, and then if that does happen, then what the fuck, Then I think he's got to stay on the team. Who knows? All right, so Jets Texans with a lot of intrigue now, a lot of curious, man. I'm curious now to see this game because I'm curious to see now where this kid really is in his head, and is he going to come out and is he going to really try to prove something? And the only way that in my opinion, that he could prove something at this point, all right, is he's got to just say, he really does have to just say, fuck it, and just play with reckless abandonment, man. I mean, just come out and fucking play. That's it. Don't give a shit. Play like your career fucking is over with this team, like you don't give a shit. And you really are going to show them something, and the rest of the world for that matter. And to me, that's the type of mentality he's got to have in this game. Come out and just fucking play like a possessed person, man. To me, it's the only way this fucking guy is going to have a good game, I think. Can't play scared. And now that falls back on Hackett a little bit. Don't open up this fucking game with a run, all right? Just do me a favor. Open up with something. Just throw the fucking ball. Go. And I've said this already in a couple of videos, man. How many times are you going to open up the game with a fucking run up the middle? All right? Do everybody a fucking favor, Hackett, all right? First play of this game, bomb to fucking Wilson, all right? And that's it. Open the game like that, all right? I've said it before. I've said it many times. Open the game with a bomb. Do something different, man. All right, so I'm trying to get to the Texans a little bit here because I did say there was some shit I wanted to talk about with the Texans. So the Texans, I think, interesting story this year. Listen, Stroud is a good story, all right? He's got them playing, let me just see what their record is. I think they have a winning record. Yeah, man. So they're 7-5. And I kind of knew that. I just wanted to double check it. Because I know that they had a huge game against the Jaguars. I think last week was it? I think maybe. They choked. They really needed to beat the Jaguars. And that would have been a huge win. So, but they're still 7-5. All right. So listen, they're a 7-5 fucking team. Like I said, man, it adds to the intrigue of this week. Now, here's what I wanted to talk about with the Texans as well. And I mentioned this in my Falcon video, and a couple other videos, I think. But for those of you who do follow my Jet videos, you do know I'm a big uniform guy. I'm a big design guy. I'm a big logo guy, right? I really love to analyze, uniform looks and logo looks, and whenever there's a new look, I do have to get my older videos onto this channel where when the Jets were coming out with their new uniforms and a new helmet, and I made a couple of videos about that because that was huge to me because it was my team changing their look, all right? And I said it. If there's anything this franchise got right in the last fucking 50 years, it's this uniform change, all right? The helmets are gorgeous. I love the new logo. The color green on the helmets are beautiful. The black, the uniform design, the New York, the numbers, everything. I even like the color green. It is a different green than they've had. It's a nice green. I like it all. One thing that I'm a little And surprisingly, that there's something about the black helmets that I don't like, and I finally figured it out. Now, I've waited for them to get a black helmet, and I'm going to get to the Texan thing, but I'm building up to it here with this. I said this a while ago. I've been wanting to make a video, just about the black helmet, because I've wanted the Jets to have a black helmet for a long time. I always thought that they should get a black helmet. And when they got a black helmet, I was like, this is going to be fucking great. And then when I saw it, I was like, there's something not right about it. And I actually don't like it because of this one thing. Now, I will do a video on the black helmet still, and I'll disclose what that is and what I think they should do to the black helmet to really make it look like a fucking, a really, really good helmet. So, but that leads me into what I was saying here, which was, I actually really am into design and uniform looks, and even like the Chargers played recently on a national game, and the Chargers have like a third uniform and a third helmet. It's like that dark blue, man, and on the helmet it's got the dark bolts with the yellow. It pops. If you look at the pants on that uniform, the dark blue is just like the bolt is just the yellow bolt, but the bolt doesn't have color. I believe the bolt is just still the dark blue of the pants, and the bolts are like that too. It's a phenomenal, really sharp look for the Chargers. And I remember saying it when I first saw that change in the Chargers uniforms. But what I'm getting at here is I do follow logos and designs and uniforms very closely because I'm very into it. And I'll drop this here right now. I actually have an idea that I came up with that I'm going to come out with a series of videos where I'm going to cover every team's history of their logo and their look and their colors and all that shit. But that will be a little down the road. That's a little involved. And you're talking about 32 videos, right? I'll cover 32 teams. So I'll do it, and then I'll start to release them. But definitely, keep that one on the burner. That is another idea that I have that I want to do for the Jet channel. So, getting back to the Texans. Now, we're talking about design and we're talking about look, all right? To me, the Texans have a very, very fucking good-looking uniform now. And recently I saw them where they had the black and the red, and they look fucking great. But here's what I really like about the Texans. That red helmet they have is fucking really nice, man. It almost rivals the Jet helmet. I think the Jets have the nicest helmet in the league now. But that red Texan helmet is really fucking nice, man. And I actually think they should make that their like helmet all the time, full time, man. I believe their full-time helmet is the dark blue, right? So, but that red helmet is, you're gonna see them switch to that helmet full time because it is that nice. As far as I know, it's like an alternate helmet for them. I could be wrong, but I don't believe it's their number one helmet. The dark blue helmet, I believe, is their number one helmet. So, but if you look at my thumbnail for this pregame, I put the red Texan helmet in there, knowing, I believe anyway, that it is their alternate helmet, but I do think it is that nice to where it should be their full-time helmet. So, other than that, I just, I wanted to just cover. I didn't think I was going to get so winded about talking about the design shit, but, I remember saying to myself when I do the Texan video, the pregame video, I'm like, I got to talk about the red helmets and and their uniforms. Like I said, their uniforms are really fucking nice now too. So they got a good look going on, man, and they got Stroud now. So there's a lot of promising shit on the horizon for the Texans, I think, at this point. But that red helmet is hot. Take a look at my thumbnail. Maybe I'll throw it up on the screen right now for you. Check it out, right? How fucking hot is that helmet? It's a good looking helmet. So, all right, man. So that's it. A lot of stuff for this week's game. You know, a lot of stuff, man. Zach getting the start again. I just fucking thoroughly covered it. And, Stroud, Texans, 7-5 Texans. And like I said, man, it's going to be interesting to see what Zach does in this game. So, like I said, if anything, at least we have a game this week where there's some intrigue. And I think I'll sit down and actually watch this one. Because let me tell you something, I was barely able to watch the Falcon game. I mean, that to me was the low point of this fucking season. And I knew it. Like I said, man, I was even saying, it's a whatever game to me at this point. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Does Zach now start playing good and winning games? And here's what will piss me off, all right? This will piss me off. If this fucking guy comes in, he wins a couple of games, completely fucks their draft, and then winds up not being on the team. That will piss me off. All right? So we got that to worry about here too. So look, if he's going to win, then win out. All right? And if he fucking loses this game, then lose out. That's where I fucking stand with him and this fucking team, with him being the quarterback of this team. That's where I stand with it all. All right. See what happens. All right. Fucking, I literally imported all the footage. I started to edit, and I'm like, holy shit, man. I didn't even do a prediction. So, I do a prediction every fucking pregame video. So, prediction of this game. You know what? In a fucked up way, I think they're gonna win this game. I just have a feeling he's gonna have a good game. They're gonna win the game, and the circus will continue. Because, like I said, if he wins the game, then what? But I have a feeling it's almost hard for me to believe he's gonna have a bad game in this game, with all the shit that has been going on, and I just think he's going to come out and he's going to prove something. I could easily be wrong, but look for Zach to actually have a good game, and look for them to win this game. It just feels like that's where this is all headed. So, all right, there you go. Jets, Texans, Week 14.